Chapter 6. That's Not Good Enough. Inside Arlington prisoner, there were two prisoners talking to each other near the prisoner named Ted Bomber, who kidnapped and killed Amy Hartfield. "Here, man, I'm serving for life, but I'm going to get out of here tonight," said a black prisoner. "How?" asked a white prisoner. "My people paid the guard." "How much was it?" $50,000. "Man, I would like to come too." Bomber clearly heard what they were talking about, so he went to talk with them. "Excuse me, guys. I just overheard what you all said. I am sick of that big nigger. Help me get out of here." "How much you got?" "I've got 20,000, said Bomber. His grandmother had left him $50,000, a house and a car. He had bought a pickup truck for $15,000. He still had $35,000 left, so he could afford $20,000. "I don't know, man. Why should I help you?" "For $20,000? How about 25,000? "All right, I can borrow 5,000 from my grandmother," said Bomber. The black prisoner explained the plan to both of them. They were supposed to spray a can of gas to a guard and take his clothes and get other uniform from the closet, wear them, and walk out. Sally Hartfield was watching television. She was basically switching channels. It had been a week after she was released from the hospital, after she fainted when she saw her daughter naked and dead. She was very upset. Mike was fixing her air conditioner. The house was a mess. She had not been going to work. She was depressed. She cried most of the day. Mike would come after work and usually cheer her up. "I am really tired, Mike. Nothing seems to go right for me. I lost my husband, then my daughter." Mike just kept on working. He didn't say much. He knew she was babbling. Nothing he could say would make her feel good. "Look, honey, I found the problem. You'll have cold air in no time." He changed the subject. She was still flipping channels. Her mind was not there. She got up and went to the bathroom. She went to the kitchen and grabbed a cold beer. "Mike, do you want a cold one?" "In a minute. Let me take a shower first." Sally went back and sat on the couch and took a sip of cold beer. She was relieved a little. Then she stared at TV. TV had a program about disappearing girls. She got attentive. The show was about the serial killer named Theodore Bundy. Sally watched it very carefully. She was raised against Bundy, who killed several girls. The guy like that killed her daughter. That killer, Jack Bomber, had a record before. He raped a girl in Pennsylvania and was in jail for 5 years. She thought they should have never let him out in the first place. She thought this justice system that let a criminal like that let loose on the street stinks. She thought these criminals should have been terminated. She thought about Bomber. What if he gets out again? He's going to kill someone else. I'm sick of criminals. First they took my husband, now my daughter. Sally met her husband, Terrence, in high school in her junior year. Terrence was a senior. They went to prom together twice. After she graduated from high school, they got married and had Amy. They loved each other very much. They wanted to give the best to Amy, so they decided to not to have another child. They were very happily married family until her husband died when Amy was 14. She still managed to support her daughter and herself. Amy was the only person she cared for after her husband died. Only after a year of her husband's death she gave herself into Mike, after his long persistence try. After all, Sally is very attractive. She has a dark blonde hair. She is well built. Mike came back after from the shower and grabbed a beer and sat next to Sally. "Hey, baby, what's the matter?" said Mike. But Sally didn't reply. "Sally? Sally!" He shook her a little. She snapped out from deep thinking. "Yeah? Where have you been?" "What are they going to do with that bastard who killed my daughter?" "I don't know, baby. He might get a life sentence or a nut house." "You mean they're not going to fry him?" "He might plead for temporary insanity and get out because his grandmother had died recently. He doesn't deserve to live." "I know, baby, but he is in the prison." "That's not good enough. I want him dead," said Sally with a voice that came from deep inside of her. "That's possible at the court of law, baby." "I'm not going to take possibility. I want it to happen." "That's not in your hand, baby. For my baby and for other mothers, I want to kill that bastard." "How are you going to do that? He will be locked in." "What about your friend in Arlington Police Department? Al?" "I don't know. You mentioned a police sergeant who let a victim beat the criminal or something like that." "Oh, that was inside the jail. He let a prisoner beat another prisoner." "Can we talk to him?" "Sure. He's a good friend of mine." Sally and Mike made an arrangement to meet with Sergeant Al Taylor. They were invited to Sergeant Taylor's house in Arlington. They sat in a patio in the backyard. It was a private place, since he had plenty of land around him. He poured a coffee for them and gave them cream and sugar according to their desire. "You know, Mike and I go way back. Our fathers were buddies, and we used to work on each other's car." "Yeah, that's true. I worked mostly on your car," Mike said with a smile. "Whatever, Mike. I am sorry about your daughter, Sally." "Thanks. So what can I do for you?" "I want that bastard to be punished." "That you don't have to worry about. He'll be punished." "Yeah, but I want him to be punished harshly." "He probably is never going to get out. Isn't that harsh enough?" "No. I want him to suffer. Actually, I want him dead." "Oh, I can't help you with that. I have to follow procedures and regulations. Reporters will ask so many questions. It is not possible." "What can I do is have him tortured in the jail." "What is that?" "I will let one of cellmates take care of him. Meantime, I want you to go see a friend of mine in Fort Worth. His name is Terry McVeigh. He is a leader of an organization that hates criminals." "What's that, a support group?" "Something like that. They will also train you how to protect against criminals. Maybe they have connections to get to your daughter's killer." Mike wrote down Terry McVeigh's address and phone number. They finished coffee. Taylor showed them his gun collections. Shortly they said goodbye. Sally and Mike went home and called McVeigh. They arranged an appointment for the following day. That night Sally was in good mood, so she wore her sexy black lingerie and invited Mike to join in. They made love first time after Amanda's death. Next day, Mike came home around 6 p.m. and drove Sally to go meet Terry McVeigh. Meanwhile, Sergeant Taylor went to the jail where the bomber was locked up and talked to guards and gave them a carton of cigarettes. The guest went to talk to a black guy named Marcus the Big Mouse, who weighed about 300 pounds. They had a job for him, and his pay was a carton of generic cigarette. Then Marcus was put in Bomber's cell. "Hey, lover boy, your sweet daddy has come to rescue you," said Marcus, and grabbed him and did a number on Bomber. The scream was loud, but the guards laughed and ignored it. Terry McVeigh invited Sally to a room in a wooden house near the big field and woods, where the gunshots were loud. So he closed the door. They were introduced themselves. "Sergeant Taylor is a good friend of mine, and he's a member of our organization. He called me personally and explained your problem. I am glad you came. We will help you any way we can, But first, you have to become a member.